crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Just a quick update for June 23rd, which is today. I will be on with my friend JC on his channel called Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic. And we'll do, this is live, so it's 2:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Pacific Time. Today, depending on when you're watching this on YouTube, but today, June 23rd. And so go to Beyond Mystic if you want to listen to me talk. I didn't know what we were talking about. He called it, What the Fed is Going On. So I guess we're talking about the Fed, which is pretty damn good because it's hard to find out what's going on at the Fed now. We know they're bailing out corporate bonds. We don't have exactly where they're doing that and how they're doing that. We also know behind the scenes there's a lot of stuff going on that they don't tell us. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Remember, there's the Fed, the Treasury, and the Exchange Stabilization Fund. The Exchange Stabilization Fund has the official authority to rig any market on planet Earth. And that came with the 1934 Gold Act, which basically took gold out of our monetary system and made it backed by gold, but it was not redeemable. So we will be talking about the Fed and probably about how the Fed was created and why. And although I love the book Creature from Jekyll Island, he missed the biggest thing. Why? Why did Woodrow Wilson sign it and why was it allowed to happen? Which is, of course, the gold in the Grand Canyon for anybody on the road to Ruta. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to roadtoruta.com and figure it out. Just type in the search function, Grand Canyon, and you'll find tons of evidence that they found billions and billions and billions of ounces of gold in the Grand Canyon and then locked it up. Woodrow Wilson locked it up and said, no, we're not using this. We're using these paper fiat things until the rest of the world doesn't believe it anymore. And that's where we're getting. That's the exciting thing is we're getting to the end game on the road to Ruta, which is the end of the unbacked fiat monetary system, moving to something else. Now, before 10 years ago, it was definitely gold. Gold everywhere. Silver, there's not enough of it. It's too valuable to use as money. But gold, there's massive amounts. But it's a problem when you don't know how much exactly there is, because how do you value it if you don't know how much money there is? So that's what's going on. All right, so that would be at 2:30. We'll be talking about the Fed and the insanity going on there. Also, take a look. Gold is breaking out to 8-year highs. Why? Why not? Truthfully, gold is massively manipulated, but we all know that the answer to every Federal Reserve, every central bank on planet Earth, the answer to any problem is print more money, and that is exactly what our Fed is doing. To the point we're getting in the trillions, we'll get to the quadrillions and quintillions, you name it. The plan was never to pay off the debt, by the way. The MMT people are right. Modern monetary theory people are right. Print as much as you can because this baby's going to end one day. That's not what they say. They say print as much as you can because it doesn't matter. In reality, it doesn't matter. When you can rig every single market, it doesn't matter how much money you print. You lose your liberties, you lose your country, which is going on right now. I would say this is 100% because of our bullshit monetary system and the market rigging continued today. I have you know by Donald Trump. If I have one criticism, and those of you who watch this show know what it is, Donald Trump has continued and actually kicked into overdrive the market rigging. The recent replacement of the Attorney General of the Southern District of New York has everything to do with market rigging. And is that going to be allowed to go on, or are they going to end it? I don't know. I think the Democrats want to pull the plug because they think the economy has to be destroyed if Trump's going to get out of office, which is probably true. So they're going to pull the plug as best they can, and they knew the Attorney General in Southern District of New York held the key, and that's why Trump took him out. He was a deep state guy. Like I said, I've always said the good guys and bad guys want to destroy the system is just win. And Trump's trying to hang on to this. I think it's the dumbest move ever for the good guys to hang on to this system. Why? Because if Trump rebuilds the economy on a quicksand, shaky foundation, we are no better off than we were before. Same problem, same weakness. All our enemies already know about it. I remember first getting into gold, and Vladimir Putin, his third term, not his 10th term or whatever he's in now. This is in the early 2000s. He caught wind of what the banks were doing. As a matter of fact, my friends at GATA, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, held a conference up in Canada, and Putin's number one financial advisor went there. It was a really small, 30 people conference on the manipulation of gold and how it can end it. And you got the head of the monetary system over in Russia going to this GATA conference. And then I think it was a couple weeks later, Putin's shown holding up a bar of gold. Yes, gold has been manipulated. Silver obviously is manipulated. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that real quick. Gold's breaking out to 8-year highs, right? Gold's breaking out towards 8-year highs. What is silver? Silver is a little over a third of its all-time high. So gold is getting there. It's double its 1980 all-time highs of more than double of $800. But silver at $50 is a third of its all-time high. And again, in 2011, silver is the number one most manipulated metal on planet Earth. Any decent-sized entity can destroy every bank on planet Earth right now by buying up all the silver. Buying up all the silver, you destroy every single too-big-to-fail bank, which destroys the entire monetary system would go poof. Good night. Now, why is silver so important? Because it's been rigged for 150 years, price controlled by the banking cabal, the good guys and the bad guys. Everybody should know that silver is the key to, unless you rig silver, you got a huge problem because you have 150 years of market suppression the spring will unleash. And I think we're going to have 1-to-1 gold to silver, because that's how much is left above ground, 6 billion ounces of each. So outside of the manipulation, you got to start thinking like an analyst. How much silver is above ground? How much silver is below ground? I think it's 6-to-1 or 7-to-1 below ground. But it's trading at 100-to-1. Why? Because of the manipulation. You remove the manipulation, we're talking 1-to-1, and I know gold is manipulated. Gold will probably go to $5,000 instantly in a free market, and a lot more than that later. Silver would probably go to $800 instantly, and then $5,000. I'm like, oh my God. There's 1-to-1 relationship with gold and silver is absolutely necessary in all kinds of industrial applications. So check out this chart of silver versus the chart of gold for the last 10 years. The 10-year chart. Watch this. Look at that. Gold, you got 2011 when it was spiking, $1,800. Everybody's all excited. And then Bill Daley of JP Morgan went to Obama to be his chief of staff, and they slammed it. It was all about silver, though. Look what gold did in the last 10 years. 1,800 all the way down. Massive manipulation. Now it's coming up to 1,800 again. Hold on. Why does that say silver price? This is the gold price. Hold on. This is the gold chart, though. Oh, it says price of gold. Okay. We're all right. All right. So, yeah, I'll just put this. This is the gold chart. It sells silver up here, but if you look here, it says 10-year gold. Anyway, that's what gold has done. The 10-year chart. Look at it. The old cup and saucers coming out for all you technical guys, right? But look at silver. It hit near all-time highs and then slammed down, and it is now a third, right around a third of what it should be just to hit all-time highs. Why silver and why gold? Well, those brilliant guys with the charts and the people who don't understand that silver market's manipulated says silver's underperformed gold in line with the slump in its industrial demand. Now, that's supposedly the reasoning. Yes, there's a slump in industrial demand. But does physical silver have anything to do with the price? No. The COMEX trades 120 to 130 billion ounces a year. And how much is mined? 800 million ounces. And you know what the other thing is? So you have here silver industrial demand is this line right here. And it really dropped off, obviously, with COVID, right? And so some people are saying, yeah, the price of silver went down because industrial demand went down. That is not the story. Why? Because all the mines shut down as well. So you had no silver being mined or exported for industrial use. So yeah, industrial use went down, but all the silver was stopped. It was frozen. So no, the price of silver did not go down because of industrial demand. It went down 100% because of manipulation. Now the mines are starting to kick back in. So they said, oh, the next thing they'll say is, oh, all the mines have been backlogged and they've been, stacking up silver, so there's tons of silver now. Bullshit. There's an article by Hector Sosa Flores, How Global Mining Has Been Impacted by COVID-19. Mining has become a truly global operation as the raw materials in most developed countries have been depleted. Mining operations are moving abroad. Two of these areas in which mining operations have become vital parts of the economy are Central America and South America. Absolutely. And these are countries that have been so abused by the United States of America. Read John Perkins' book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. You'll see what we did to South America, to Mexico. I've been jumping up, down, screaming about Mexico and their silver. Mexico is the largest producer of silver, largest exporter. Has always been. Mexico has literally given away their fortunes because the banking cabal has been in charge of Mexico. No, the Mexican people do not elect leaders that look out for them. There should be a revolution in Mexico, and they should stop exporting any silver at all. Zero exports. But they're starting up again. There was a report in, I think, Reuters that 80% of Mexican silver mines have started up. It's the first thing they said. Why? Because it's so important. They need to scare the market. And it's so ridiculous. So, hey, if you are from Mexico, if you're from South America, or you have friends there, tell them to go to their government, storm the gates, and say, why are you giving away all of our wealth to these criminal banksters? It's ridiculous. I talk about this every time I go on my road shows. The Road to Ruta road show is coming up this summer. Amy and I are planning it right now. We are going to jump in an RV and go from town to town, singing about this stuff and talking about how Mexico's ridiculous by exporting any silver at all. 1/3 of all the silver that's ever been mined in history, about 60 billion ounces, has come straight out of Mexico. Mexico could be the richest country in the world, but they were taken over by the banking cabal, run out of the United States now and Europe. Anyway, yes, silver, who knows what day it's going to happen, but we are getting to a point right now in the next 3 or 4 days until we're at a delivery month for silver. July is a delivery month. We'll see who's got it and who doesn't have it, but behind the scenes they can pay each other off in money, in fiat money. But it doesn't matter. The more strain we can put on these assholes, the better off humanity is. I don't think silver will trade above $30 until the COMEX shuts down. Why? Because it would be $20-30 billion worth of losses for the bad guys. The 8 banks that are short that Ted Butler talks about. So don't expect to see silver price going crazy, but do expect to see the COMEX shut down this year. Got silver? Get it in your hands now. If you don't have a dealer, go to your local guy and say, hey, my name's Joe. I live in town. You're one of 2 dealers that are in our town from silver. I want to buy these silver rounds. How much are you going to charge me? Because I'm going to go down the street and ask Fred, your competition, how much he's going to charge me. And I'm going to buy from one of you guys. I'll buy from both of you a little bit, but from one, I'm going to buy a lot. So you give me the best price, and I'll keep coming back to you. It's that simple. If you don't have local silver guy, send Andy Scheckman an email, andy@milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. He has promised to give Road to Ruta people the best deal in town, any town. So give him a call. All right, moving on. Classic. So AOC has a debate with Michelle Caruso Cabrera, and she got basically goaded into, why aren't you debating? Why aren't you debating? So she decided to debate her. And AOC says before the debate starts, she says, all the audience and the media have to leave, or I'm not coming on stage, like a little baby. Oh, it's unbelievable. Remember, AOC is a bartending actress. Kind of like Obama was a plant all along. AOC is a joke. And Michelle Caruso Cabrera calls her a joke. She's a joke. After finally being goaded to participate in the in-person Parkchester Times debate Wednesday, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez showed up to debate opponent Michelle Caruso Cabrera, but she wouldn't take the stage and allow the event to start with the media or audience members in the room, according to the publication that hosted the event. AOC reportedly, quote, demanded reporters leave the room before she took the stage to debate. Why? Because she's a freaking idiot. She's an actress. If she doesn't have her cue cards, what the hell is she going to say? According to the Parkchester Times, who labeled her a bully in their coverage of the event. The lack of media attention set off her opponent, MCC, that's Michelle Caruso Cabrera. We'll just go AOC and MCC, who put out a press release Wednesday night that read, quote, at tonight's Parkchester Times debate, in behavior more appropriate for a temperamental princess than an elected member of Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez demanded that reporters and audience members leave the room before she took the stage. She left the residents of the 14th district with a malfunctioning Facebook feed that could scarcely be heard. MCC continued in her release saying, quote, she is a socialist. This conduct would make the Politburo blush. She threw out residents of the 14th congressional district who wanted to attend the debate. They are being exposed. This is beautiful. Q's going to love this one. The deep state, the facade, the pedos, all of them are being exposed. Do I wish it happened a long time ago? Of course I do. Will we still have the COVID problem and whatever problem, the racist problem, the riot problem? If Trump had arrested everybody when he should have, probably not. We'd have other problems. But hey, these people have to go to jail. And AOC is just she's a hired hand, a hired actress, and not a good one either. But then you have Glenn Beck on Fox News saying, we are at the end of the country as we know it. Glenn Beck told FNC's Sean Hannity that radicals, the anarchists, the Islamists, and the socialists have come together to work to destabilize Europe and America. Absolutely. That should be obvious to everybody. And here's what he said. If the Republicans don't win this next election, hang on a second. Oh, they cut it off for someone. Anyway, if the Republicans don't win the next election, we may not survive. Oh, we will lose America as we know it. We may not even survive if we win, but something if we lose with Trump. I can't read it, damn it. Anyway, basically says we are officially at the end of the country as we know it if Trump doesn't win. Here's what I have to say. We're not at the end of the country. This is how both sides think. If a Democrat gets put in, all the Republicans are going to say, oh, there goes our country. If Trump gets in again, all the Democrats are going to say, oh, there goes our country. We are a country of citizens. We are a country, it's a republic. It's not a democracy. We are so far from what our founding fathers wanted. Even the left and the right. You got to look at it and start taking care of yourself. Don't rely on your government anymore. Our government is done. I do believe those psychics that said Trump will be our last president. I don't know if it's this this term or next term. I don't know if there'll be a next term. But what would happen if we do have a financial collapse? Would there be an election? No, probably not. No one would care. No one would care. The federal government would have no power. Your local government would have no power. It's dog eat dog out there. Fend for yourself. Is that what I think will happen and what I want to happen? No. But it's not the end of the world. And, we're on this destination all together. Republicans and Democrats. Because I live in a fiercely Democratic state and have fierce Democratic friends as close friends and family members as close friends, they're saying the same thing that Glenn Beck is saying today. Glenn Beck's saying, if Trump doesn't win, it's the end of our country. What are the Democrats saying? If Trump wins, it's the end of our country. Come on, people. It's just a freaking idiotic government. If you want to end racism, get rid of the government. You want to end market manipulation, get rid of the government. The answer to everything these days is get rid of the government. So what about the defunding the police and all that? It might be a good idea. Why? Because do you really want someone overlording you, telling you, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that? The regulations, the laws are ridiculous these days. What would happen if we defunded the government? There would be no police, no fire, no nothing, right? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. You'd have to take care of yourself. Oh my God, did I say it out loud? An American that has to take care of himself? We'd have to take care of ourselves. It would turn to the communities. It would turn to, I have a family member that says it's going to go to warlords. It might, but that's the world we live in. Careful what you ask for. We might live in a Mad Max world. I don't know. Probably not. I think if Trump even has a sniff that he might not win the election because of cheating or whatever, he's going to pull the plug on the pedos. He's going to pull the plug on all the FBI guys and criminals that he should have pulled the plug on a long time ago. So if they crash the system, he's going to pull the plug. If we let him have another 4 years, he's not going to pull the plug. He's going to try to rebuild the foundation of America on a shaky foundation. I think it's all wrong. But that's my thoughts. And I don't get to decide. I can vote. I can use my vote. But I can't decide other things on my own. Like if I'm going to pay taxes, if I'm going to participate in their system, if I'm going to accept welfare that's coming for everybody when the system crashes. It's up to us to make the decision. Yes, it is ugly. It is messy, but this transition always was going to be ugly and messy. And that's where we are. I actually found a Conversations with God article that I wrote after my 3 books. I started another one, and it was pretty cool. I'll put this up for Private Road members on the website. And it's all about what I just talked about. What God thinks about it. Pretty cool. I never finished it, so maybe I'll finish it and put it up for the Private Road members. Anyway, for the Private Road, yes, I am still giving away 100 Theta and 100 Theta Fuel. Do I think it's going to be the biggest crypto of all by far? Actually, I do. Why? Because I know just how much trouble these the bandwidth consumers are. Netflix, YouTube, all that stuff. They have maxed out on a centralized network. They have to go decentralized, and they're on board with the Theta group. So I think Theta is going to be the new Internet 2.0. That's how big that's going to be. So it's going to go from 23 cents to what Michelle Whiteduff said, to $3,000 per coin. So I'm giving away 100 of them, Theta and Theta Fuel right now. All you got to do is join the Private Road 1-year subscription, 100 Theta and 100 Theta Fuel loaded onto a paper wallet, even if you don't know anything about cryptos, and sent to your front door. A lot of people asking about how to start a Guardian node. You need 10,000 Theta, and you need a little Theta Fuel to make the transactions. Hey, if you're a Private Road member and you're missing your Theta Fuel to make that kind of a transfer, if you're a Private Road member, you probably already have your Theta Fuel, but if you don't, send me an email and I'll send you free theta fuel. You need like 0.0001 theta fuel, 0.00001 theta fuel to make it transact. It's like gas for Ethereum. Anyway, go to theta.org if you don't know what I'm talking about. There's a video up there. And if you want to start a Guardian node, by the way, the original cap of the Guardian nodes at 1,000 of them it's gone now. They'll have as many Guardian nodes as you want. Let's take a look where we are right now. So this is guardianmonitor.io, and we are at total staked Guardian theta is 157 million, and the validator nodes, that's the Googles and the Samsungs, 320 million, total of 478 million, which is what, 30 million more than I said just last week, I think it was. So what happens when theta hits the total amount, the staked theta hits the total amount of theta that's available of, 800 and it's on here somewhere. The amount of theta available right now is 870 million. So it is climbing fast. I think when it gets above 500 million, people will start scratching their head and saying, hey, how is this volume possible on theta on the exchanges when there's only 870 million tokens? And oh, by the way, 500 million of them are staked and cannot be traded. So it's going to be a little check and see for the criminal exchanges, which is good. And Theta Fuel, I know it's hard to get Theta Fuel. A lot of people are using coinswitch.io, coinswitch.io to get their Theta. They can swap Litecoin and Ethereum. And you can blame, if you have a foreign account on Binance, you can get Theta and Theta Fuel. You can blame the U.S. government for the inability for U.S. citizens to use other exchanges around the world. I don't think any other government is doing this. Only the U.S. You can't be in U.S. Why do the exchanges don't want to deal with U.S. customers? Because of our criminal regulators, the SEC and the CFTC. I don't know if you guys heard, but the old head of the SEC, that criminal guy who took down Reggie Middleton, all that, is now going to be the Attorney General of the Southern District of New York. Is that good or bad? I think it's horrible. But is it good for Trump and the market rigging? Probably. So just keep an eye on that. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? We just sit here on Road to Ruta and try to point out as many good things as we can. And by the way, yes, Theta is a great buy if you can get your hands on it. And the Theta Fuel might even be a better buy. Because it was created at 5-1. It's now trading at 25-1. But again, Theta is going to run out. Theta Fuel, they can always make 5% more. They're making 5% more per year. Theta Fuel is going to run out. When all these stakes filled up, we're gonna say, okay, Binance. Binance also has a validator node. So they are a participant in this thing. There's 12 validator nodes. One of them is Binance. So that's where they get their Theta Fuel probably to sell to the people. And Theta Fuel is going to be used as the network develops. So Netflix is going to have to buy Theta Fuel to use the network. Same with YouTube. Same with other streamers. But it'll be cheaper than going through the centralized CDNs, content delivery networks. That's what this is. It's a CDN. It's a content delivery network. And it's an ecosystem. And it might even be the new World Wide Web. Anyway, that's my commercial for Theta. Anyway, this is Bix. I think I'm going to end on a little different song today. We're going to go down. We're going to bring out an oldie but goodie. And please enjoy the song, They. I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, I grew up in the USA. I was taught that speech was free. Birmingham to Burning Man, you can speak any truth you see. Lately things have changed, they say I can't speak truth no more. And I'm just sitting here wondering who they are working for. See, they're gonna kick me off of YouTube. Unless I say 9/11's just another day. And they delete my friends on Facebook. Unless I pretend that socialism's A-okay. And they are gonna shadow ban my Twitter. Unless I tweet the chemtrails of Perrier. Finally they'll ban everything I've got to say as they kill free speech in the USA. They decide what's right, they decide what's wrong, they ban what won't conform. They sit in shadows, they run the gallows, say I must abide the norm. Without free speech we lose freedom, they cut off our free will. If I find truth that they don't like, they'll label me a shill. And then they're gonna kick me off of YouTube. Unless I say 9/11's just another day. And they delete my friends on Facebook. Unless I pretend that socialism's A-okay. And they are gonna shadow ban my Twitter. Unless I tweet the chemtrails of Perrier. Finally they'll ban everything I've got to say as they kill free speech in the USA. They're trying to kill free speech in the USA. Now wait a minute, it's not like me to give up on a fight. I'll expose their evil plans, bring their shadows into light. And I'll name names, I'll play their games, I've got them in my sight. They're trying to change the USA, I'll fight for what is right. So they can kick me off of YouTube. 9/11's all about building 7 and it ain't okay. And they can delete all my Facebook. But socialists fail every time in every single way. And they can shadow ban my Twitter. But I'm looking up at chemtrail skies each and every day. See, they have no right to ban anything I have to say. And I'll fight for free speech in the USA. I'm gonna fight for free speech in the USA. It's my right, free speech in the USA.